Boom, when we're live. Hey, it's Jordan with Location Independent. We've got my favorite guest, Michael Kirk, is back. We had him on last week to talk about how he spends Bitcoin on everything from gas to Taco Bell. And now he's such a fascinating person. I had to have him on a second time because we're going to be talking about his website, Efficiency is Everything. And this is, real quick, he'll explain it a lot better than I can. But basically, it started with his fascination. He took a class on industrial engineering, and he decided that he could apply that, or he thought about how to apply that to other aspects of life. And the biggest study, and did different studies on all kinds of stuff, and the main one was nutrients per dollar. For breaking down how much you're actually spending when you go to a grocery store on different kinds of foods for the protein and whatever the vitamins, and based on that, what you're getting the most bang for your buck. Anyway, Michael can explain it a lot better than I can. So go ahead.
Thank you for the introduction.
Yeah.
I kind of got geeked just as you were talking about it, because I kind of fell in love with this concept of industrial engineering, but in your life at home. So something that is absolutely critical in like these Fortune 500 companies. If you just want to survive, you have to apply industrial engineering in pretty much every workplace. So taking these same principles and using them at home, it was incredible. And like you were saying, one of the big studies is our different like food per dollar, and it kind of all came to be. Actually, my wife was getting her doctorate in physical therapy, and the $100,000 bill that was coming was awfully scary, and it really got us to look at our finances. And we end up looking at our food costs because we actually didn't know how much we were spending on food. We just bought way too much Thai food at the time, and we didn't know how much we were spending. And one of the tricks I did back in college, we would, in between one of my chemistry labs, we would go to McDonald's and I would buy the highest calorie per dollar item. And that was, I think, fries at the time. And for I think like $2, you get like 800 calories. And so I'd kind of been doing it a little bit since college. But then once I had a wife that actually cared about what she ate and didn't want just like really cheap food, I started trying to put numbers to it. So one of the first studies was just going to the grocery store and doing a big calorie per dollar study. And conclusions were really interesting. It actually totally changed what we ate. Actually, I'll give you the tips. And
yeah, go ahead.
We have rice at about 2,000 calories per dollar. If you can put that in almost any food, you're going to save lots of money. Things like flour, noodles, all that kind of stuff, like just cheap carbs, that is like a filler food. And then protein, chicken, like 50 grams of protein per dollar is something good to aim for. Eggs are good. Lentils and beans are outstanding if you can do those. And then on top of that, just vegetables. So I don't want to rant too much about what to eat. I do provide that on the website. So you can go on, the big deal is go on the website and all this information is available to you.
Yeah, and what's that URL? Speaking of which?
So I guess one of the big things that I really want to start focusing the site on more is these different time studies. So I kind of touched a little bit about industrial engineering, and one of my sort of biggest interests is, can you make life more like an assembly line, especially the parts you don't like? So my morning routine was originally this 15-minute trip around the house, and that was going to my closet, back to the bathroom, back to different parts of the bathroom, waiting for the shower to get hot. And the way that they optimize that on an assembly line, they actually write down every single thing that happens. So you would have someone do the task, and then you would have someone else write down every single line of every single thing that happened. And then when you're done, you would go through and say, well, what created value to the process? What made the product better? And what just wasted time? What are your non-value added tasks? So I did this with my morning routine, and I got it down from 15 minutes to 6 minutes. So Once I did
Wow.
that and I could roll out of bed and get out of the house in 6 minutes, I was kind of sold on like industrial engineering life. And kind of since then, I've done like water per dollar studies. And I've noticed that if I drink out of a big water bottle, I actually save time. And it's actually very noticeable because you drink water every day, multiple times a day. So if you're not constantly getting up, you'll actually see a difference.
So you're just talking about, in this case, saving time from walking to the water cooler or the drinking fountain, whatever, and back.
Right.
Is that right?
So they call that
Okay.
transportation waste.
What about, just to be devil's advocate here, like, you know, it's still exercise and burning calories, right? When
Right.
so you could technically wear a diaper and just drink, you know, out of a huge day and,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
don't give
save
me
time.
ideas.
But
Yes, I think as far as getting steps for the day goes, that's definitely a possibility. I probably walk enough where it doesn't affect. Like I'm always up and at it. But at least this gives the user the option. Then say yourself, that you can save time with a bigger water bottle. And that's kind of the big deal of the site. I'm not telling anyone to drink flour, even though you can get flour for 4,000 calories per dollar. What I want people to be able to do is take their different allergies and kind of their dietary needs, look at the list and find out what's best for them.
okay, first, before we go any further, what I tried to ask before, maybe just it didn't come off correctly on the on Google, but I was saying, what's the URL? And I wanted to say it's efficiencyIseverything.com, right? Just for people looking at it. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. And I don't know if you mentioned this yet on live. We were talking about it before we started. It's a brand new site's redesigned, got a bunch of new stuff up there, or is it just kind of like looking cleaner? Or
Yeah.
Sorry. So like what you just updated it.
Right. Sorry,
Like,
breaking up just a bit. But yeah, so I just got the site back up. So I took about 10 months off to program. I got into programming quite a bit, doing a finance app, and then eventually building a dishwasher, which is a story for its own time. But the site is relaunched. All summer, I had interns come over every night to work on a bunch of articles. And these were every restaurant you could imagine, the calories per dollar of it. So with this, you can now like Google Arby's calories per dollar, and the website will come up, and we'll have the best values you can get at Arby's, according to the math. So the interns worked all summer, and after 10 months of programming, I'm ready to put some more hours into efficiency as everything. So we relaunched a new homepage, new format. I used to charge for our cookbook. The cookbook is now free. So if anyone wants to go download that, we're switching over to the Wikipedia style where we ask people to donate. So our current goal, if I get $5,000, we're going to get interns, just more interns. And if you thought the restaurant per dollar study was good, I got ideas for more paper products per dollars, comparing various like Costco items to Sam's Club to, generic products, seeing is it really worth paying more for, say, the Kirkland brand. And interns will work hard. So, if you can donate, there's definitely some incentive. And the nice part is whatever studies we do, it's useful for everyone. Because these are life engineering, I really do believe it's applicable to almost 7 billion people. Everyone has to get up in the morning. Everyone has to clean up messes. What if there is a way to use these industrial engineering principles to solve these problems?
for sure. I mean, that's what I love. We could talk about this all day, but for someone like me, he's pretty new to this, just this whole concept. And although I love the idea, it's almost a little overwhelming just to get started, because I'm like, where do I even begin? So what be to someone like me who just kind of wants to get their feet taken some of your principles and improve their life, but just from the beginning.
I think as far as the first noticeable thing, if you stopped eating out at restaurants and you started eating kind of more of those foods I was talking about, rice, noodles, chicken and vegetables instead of eating out at restaurants. Surprisingly, you'd think like fast food is cheap. Everyone tells you fast food is cheap. That's like propaganda. I've never, like, that has been totally unproven. Same thing with processed food. People said processed food is cheap. Totally, like, that's like propaganda. I don't even know who spreads that garbage message. Actually, if you home cook your food, you're gonna save a bunch of money. So we eat for about $20 a week with those foods we described. And like I said, there's a cookbook on there. But if you just kind of limit yourself to those, and you know, you don't splurge on steaks, you don't buy frozen TV dinners, or you eat out at a restaurant, you're gonna just watch your food budget plummet. So I think that's like a really good start, because I think you'll become addicted after that. The morning routine optimization, I'm a big fan of. Little thing, like, you kind of learn other tricks on that. So on the time page for the website, that page is addicting as can be, because every article you read is going to save you time by the time you finished. So you're gonna, it almost starts to compound. So I think there's some really good stuff to get started there. And with all the, I'm not kidding you, with the time you save, you will have the ability to do kind of incredible things. Actually, I was talking to you last time a little bit about the sleep. Do you mind if I mention what I do for sleep?
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually about to try out the screen share thing, and so people could hear what the time page is. But if you want
Oh,
to get
yeah,
into sleep, that's fine too. Okay, well, maybe since you mentioned this, should we do
okay.
that first, and then we'll get into sleep? Okay.
All right, I appreciate that.
Go.
Good little shout out to the time page.
Yeah.
But yeah, so one of the time things I do is called biphasic sleep. So biphasic sleep, I take a 20-minute nap after work, and that actually saves you 12 hours a week. And I kind of think it's been incredible. Just over the last 4 years, we've been doing this, and it's made things like efficiency as everything is possible. In the background, you can see I've been building a dishwasher. Um, I really do believe this biphasic sleep is pretty incredible. So just going over my schedule to tell you how realistic it is. After work, I take a 20-minute nap, and then at midnight, I sleep for 6 hours. And that's it. That's like the whole thing. And you save 12 hours a week doing that. And I will warn everyone, there is a 3-week break-in period. There is a 3-week break-in period, and it is tough.
Okay.
You should probably already have your caffeine usage under control when you make the jump, because you don't want to quit caffeine and do this. So a lot of different sort of nuances, but if you can pull it off, I find biphasic sleep just absolutely incredible.
I mean, that sounds pretty crazy just for someone hearing that for the first time, like me. Where did you come up with that?
I mean, I think a lot of people have seen the Seinfeld episode where Kramer does polyphasic sleep, where he sleeps about
Yep,
6 times
yep, I've
a day,
seen that.
and falls asleep in it. Well, this is the most like moderate version. I believe there's lots of politicians, famous people that have done this like 20-minute nap every day. So it's very inspiring to give it a try. And once I gave it a try, I wanted to go back for a minute, but life was so busy, I just didn't find a way to. And after that 3rd week, I have been doing it ever since. And actually, I just want to say one more testament to it. My wife has been doing it with me, and she would work until 9 p.m. She would take her nap as late as like 10 o'clock at night. And while that's not recommended, she would take a nap at 10 o'clock at night, and then wake up, spend an hour and a half with me, and which was nice, because otherwise she would be at the hospital all day. So, and then she would, we'd go to sleep from midnight till 6 a.m. and, another day. So I can't imagine what life was like if she wasn't able to take that nap.
Wow. I don't even know what to say. That's just like, I don't know anyone else who does that. Have you also heard other stories from
Oh,
your on your website who are like testimonials, that kind of stuff?
oh yeah. So I have both success and fails on the website. People have tried this. I have many people who say the same thing, where they can't go back now that they've done this. They just have so much more time. They can do so much more, and they would never go back. And that was a great one. I did have one girl say that she failed to do the transition. She was really worried about not taking the nap at the same time every day. And while I think that's a good thing to do for the first 3 weeks, she got really caught up on that, and it was affecting her social life. So there's definitely a lesson learned. So I wanted to post maybe her experience, and she says she wants to give it a try. Maybe after she just had a kid, so it'll be a little bit maybe for that.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe it's not for everyone, but I kind of want to try this now. Now that you're telling me about
Yeah.
it, I'll have
Hey,
to,
that
you know,
3 week break-in period, though,
see.
I will warn you, is it's seriously rough.
Really easier when you're like by yourself without a significant other or like roommates, and just can have your own kind of zone
Yeah,
to do it in.
flexible
Hopefully.
schedule helps.
Right, 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 right.
But I actually,
Um,
one more thing I want to say about flexible
yeah.
schedule was that I've slept in a car on a car ride to like a wedding on a Friday. Like there was like a Friday wedding, and I've slept in the car to get that 20-minute nap. I've even slept like between, say, the cake cutting and like in dancing, and no one noticed I was gone for 20 minutes. So it's even squeezing that 20-minute nap in is pretty doable.
I mean, does it feel a little like, I would think so, to just be like, okay, guys, I gotta take a 20-minute nap, or you trying to like try to sneak out and just see if anyone, like you said, no one notices, or
Right. I'll tell Mandy maybe. Yeah, it really depends. But yeah, and you'd be surprised. Most of the time, I mean, because you're back in 20 minutes, most people end up not realizing
right,
it.
right. Yeah, I have no idea where you were.
Right.
Yeah. So the last couple minutes here. Oh my, again, it's a tough to like condense this. Okay, so let's say this. If you were going to give anyone, you know, if they learn one website goes into this, so the food per dollar, the biphasic sleep, all these time studies. One thing, what would it be? Takeaway.
I think I definitely think the nutrients per dollar. I think that's just one of the most incredible things. Yeah, I think that's worth looking at. That and the time page. You add that time page, there's just so many goodies.
Let's see. Let's get it, because we didn't even get into that. Can you give me one cool tip from the time page?
Time page. I like the water, saving time drinking water, just getting a bigger water bottle. Um,
Real quick.
I bought a shower cran. I put that in my shower so I could mark what the hot water dial was. That's been really nice. We speed
Okay.
up our Netflix, but that's like a tool. I have a link to the tool.
I see. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Cool.
that should get started. Those are some pretty decent ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Again, we try to keep. Let me stop screen sharing. Oh, all right. Cool. All right. Thank you so much. I think we've gotta wrap things up. Oh man, so hard, so difficult, because I want to ask you more about everything. But yeah, thank you so much for joining. Please, everyone, give this a thumbs up and subscribe, because Michael's awesome, and this stuff is incredible. You know, I don't know where to start if I'm going to be half sleeping and looking at my calories per dollar, and yeah, you can see I'm a little overwhelmed. But thank you so much again, Michael, for coming here. And oh, and in my free cheat sheet, digital nomad cheat sheet, I'm going to link to your Nutri per dollar study, because I was just saying, we were talking earlier, that I have like kind of like these cheap and healthy, easy to cook foods, and you just like take that to a whole nother level. So I'm going to link that. Plus, I got a bunch of other stuff there. All right, and we're gonna have to call it a day, but I will see you hopefully again soon. All right.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate having me on.
All right. Yeah, you bet. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.